What's up, guys? It's your boy Pete, and welcome back to Planting with Pete.
These my dollars make it hurt.
Now, if you're new here, this channel consists of almost everything houseplant related. If that tickles your fancy, hit that subscribe button, sit back, and enjoy the video. Now, guys, on today's video, we are doing a repot, and we're also going over Sphagnum moss, basically how I grow my plants in Sphagnum moss. Now, that's whether if they're they are thriving, but there were some hiccups along the way. But all of my plants that are literally in Sphagnum moss are thriving, and I wouldn't necessarily put it all on the Sphagnum moss, but it made life for me as a plant parent a lot easier since I am an overwaterer, which is one of the main reasons why I use Sphagnum moss. Now I will insert a picture of this here premium grade orchid moss that I use. You're probably seeing it backwards now because the camera's flipped anyway, but I'll insert a picture of what it looks like. Again, I literally swear by this stuff. I should be a freaking sponsor at this point. How much money I would say I spend on these here bags, but there are other brands out there all right. I just prefer this one. There's nothing wrong with the other ones. I just prefer this one. Premium grade. Okay, enough said. So but yeah, this here is Orchid Moss. What else can I say about it? Let's go ahead and get started. I am chattering once again. So the plant that we have here today, you guys, is my philodendron squamiferum or squamiferum, however you want to pronounce it. Now, you haven't seen this one since the mega ultra super fragile, that haul, and she has grown, as you can see, a lot. I did lose one of the bottom I would say immature leaves. It was down, wait, probably here. See the pattern? It was probably there, but anyway, I lost her to lack of watering. Yeah, it's strange. We'll get into that, but yeah, but she's doing real fine. Been growing in here. Actually, she could stay in here for a very long time, which is why I love philodendrons so much, especially the climbing ones. Philodendrons, anything with an area root, I love to the point because they don't necessarily have to count on I would say, the root system, the mother root system. Those area roots and those nodes will hatch and spread out roots, not like these. Well, kind of like roots are roots, not let's just say roots. All right, they will shoot out their own little roots, which can help capture water and nutrients, things like that, which of course makes the leaves of all of your plants a lot bigger. So especially like the monsteras and that sense. But anyway, guys, this is my squamiferum. You have not seen her since that haul. Been growing wonderful. I think you may have seen her once before when I did a post, or you probably didn't see her when I posted this up. Most of this stuff was supposed to have been like a major update after all the fall stuff, but some of you guys have been asking how I grow my plants, my collection, into Sphagnum moss, and so I was like, well, let's just do a video. There are two plants that I did want to actually upgrade pots to my, my famous Costa Farm pots. I love these things, you guys. I wish they came in, I think I said that the bigger size that you may have seen already, but yeah, we're going to upgrade her to a bigger pot. Again, she really don't need it, but I wanted to do a video for you guys. And as you can see, there are some of the roots coming out from the bottom. I can say most of my plants, they will do that because I don't have I would say, the protection around the holes. When you're doing Sphagnum moss, you guys, you're supposed to put a border down at the bottom of your pot to cover the holes to keep your roots and stuff from escaping, and then also with extra drainage so water don't just sit, but it actually helps you control the roots and keep them from coming out. But yeah, I don't mind. And then also it gives me a great view for me to check on the root system. So yeah, I keep it how like that. But if you want to put some type of substrate at the bottom of it, whether it's pond or soil, sand, perlite, you can do that for extra drainage. But what I have right here, most of you guys definitely should know, is my trusty spag container. Now, my spag mix, I use regular sphagnum moss, but I also add in part mulch, garden mulch. Yep, garden mulch. Yeah, I had to think about that, garden mulch. And I do this because of one, it um, keeps the spag extra hydrated. Also, it carries nutrients and things on its own, and then also it helps um, the miracle grow that I use as well for my fertilizer. And yes, I use Miracle Grow fertilizer inside of my sphagnum moss and mulch mix, and I close it up, and that's it. But as you can see, like this has been sitting there a while, but it's already decomposing. But that is actually good for your plants and definitely a good hold for my sphagnum moss. But let's go ahead and get started. I've been chattering for a little while now. Yeah, I'm not sure what size pot this is. If you have a Costa Farm plant, then you know what size pot. I think it's like a 6 inch, maybe 8 inch. I don't know pot, but we're going to go with that. Now I'm definitely going to reuse these. I have some more of my silver band maranta that I did chop up. Yeah, that is propagating and actually ready to be potted up, but we'll get down into that. But she is attached to her moss plank, of course. And what I do love about this here plant, you guys, the leaves are very thick, very, very thick. And of course, we're working with those hairy petioles, which just look good. Let me see, can I turn this brightness down, you guys? That better? A little bit better, but yeah, I'm loving her. There we go. That should help some, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and get her out. Show you guys. But yeah, you guys, I use sphagnum moss so that I don't overwater my plants. And as you can see, she is pure, and I mean purely healthy. Look at all those roots. This is one healthy specimen, you guys. Again, if you don't have any plants growing in sphagnum moss, give it a try. Start off with something like a pothos or cebu blue. Well, probably not a cebu blue, even though they work. I have some growing in sphagnum as well. All of my, you get it, but try something like a pothos. Look at those roots, like a pothos, you guys, and go from there. So what I'm going to do is probably end up breaking some of these here roots, but look at that. I'm going to take some of them out so at least they'll know, or even breaking them encourages them to branch off as well, but it kind of disturbs the plant. And what I've known, you guys, she sits inside of the grow tent. And let me tell you something. There we go. That's enough. I was trying to get some on this side, but they're wrapping around from the back, as you can see. But yeah, let's go ahead and get her down. Let's get these beads are stuck in there. We're going to stick her there. Now, also, I have pond here, you guys, to support the back if it needs it, but sometimes it don't. But definitely, sometimes it do. Definitely, if it is top heavy, this one is definitely not top heavy. It's actually pretty light. This is like one pretty plant, you guys. The root system again is healthy. Hopefully, you guys can. There we go. There we freaking go. Look at those roots. You can see the mulch in there. Those are beads at the top. Yeah, I just threw them in there. But anyway, you guys, let's go ahead and get these back. I don't want them to get any drier than what they are. It's still a little bit moist, but Let's get this here pot. Now I also have this here wick. These here come out of the Costa Farm, of course. The little small angel. I don't. I don't know. They're on the Costa Farm. I forgot, guys. You know, but those are the ones that come in the little brown planters, like $4.99, something ish. But anyway, I don't know to stop doing them, but anyway, it works and it helps with the spag when I backwater. Now, when I use pond, you'll see what I mean when I say by backwatering, so I don't have to necessarily water the sphagnum moss, because watering super dry sphagnum moss is it's kind of sketchy. So we'll definitely talk about that in a little while. But let's go ahead and we're going to just put some, of course, a layer of sphagnum down in the bottom here, and I should test it and see how high she sits up. Perfect, you guys. You see that? Yeah, that is perfect. So, what I'm going to do is slide her to the back as far as she can go. And as you can see, just by letting her loose, I will have to put my pond in there. So let's go ahead and you guys can see what's going on here. Let's go ahead and fill her up with sphagnum moss. Now, when you're working with this, you guys, like I said, you don't want it to get super dry. When it gets super dry, it's like working with not the potting mix. We're talking cactus soil, like crazy runoff. And if you don't have like I would say a kosh, something like that to catch a water, then you definitely can overwater your plant. Now, this is one of the reasons why I need to repot one of my other ones, because she don't have a actual kosh under her because of the funny size, I would say, planter kosh. Yeah, I don't know what size pot it fit, you guys. It was just, honestly, it was weird. Okay, so what we went ahead and did was just planted her down in there. I think I did a video on her. That was my philodendron Florida green, if I'm not mistaken. So eventually she will make a pop-up as well on the series. So, well, on this here series rather, but for the most part, you know what, you guys? I don't, but I will put a layer back here just in case. And she's actually standing up, as you can see, without any extra support, but I did just make a little space. What I'm going to do is make a little water well here. Let's get this extra spag up, stick it down in there. Sorry if you hear that noise, you guys. This plant is rubbing against the mic. We're going to, there we go, bigger pieces out. There we go. Now what I'm doing is basically what you're seeing, you guys, is me filling the back portion up with, there we go, with pond. As I said before, once I water this straight down, let me show you. Straight down, see, I can even hold it like this and I don't have to worry about it falling over. But water it straight down through there, and come on, there we go. And the water will hit this. Of course, the kosh will catch it. There we go. The kosh will catch the water, and the water wick will feed that sphagnum. Now, I do have another leaf that's coming out of here, which is going to be hectic, because we all know once I do take these out of the grow tent and do videos, they do that. So hopefully everything should work right. Now, she is a nice, manageable size because of where she is sitting in the grow tent. She's getting um, not that bright light, but it's kind of indirect. Yeah, it's very bright. You know that bulb I use is just crazy bright, but um, yeah, you guys, using this here stuff is very, very easy. Again, I definitely would recommend you trying it out, even if it's on. Try something simple like a pothos. Yeah, something simple like a pothos. Go from there. You're just going to cut it and root it out. I would definitely would not recommend you going straight from soil root bound. Well, just any kind of plant in soil, taking that plant and desoiling it and then sticking it in the sphagnum moss. Definitely would not do that. I have a video on my Monstera Borsigiana. I had to deroot her from soil. Then I had to let her sit and get water roots and water. Then definitely had to clean off those little stinking roots and stuff. I had to wait till all of that stuff. She basically had to reboot. All right. So once those roots reboot to a more wet conditions, then everything is all go. But just sticking them straight into sphagnum moss, you're gonna run into all kinds of rooting and rotting, and it's just going to be like fungus and horrible. All right. So if you're going to pull them straight out of soil, which I don't have one at hand, if you're going to pull one out of soil, make sure you put it into water first. Get plenty of water roots. Clean those roots off from that rotting and decomposition from the old roots. Place them in the sphagnum moss, and you're good to go. Now, if you're doing cuttings the same way, you're going to root them out, or you can just stick them straight into sphagnum moss. Especially if you have a nice area root. Even if you don't have an area root, it might still take a little while, but it still works, you guys. Trust me, all of my plants, even if they came in soil, except for a few, even if they came into soil, this one definitely came in the soil. I took it out, kept her in the water for about 2, 3 weeks. Luckily, there wasn't a great extensive root system, so she kept her roots and they started to grow, branch out, got her into spag, and here we are now. Of course, I got her a post, and as you can see, she has been growing and she's shooting out another leaf. So yeah, I'm enjoying this here plant. As I said before, all of my at least 95% of my plants are in spag. I have most it's probably like two down here. We did a project, I don't know if you remember, with my begonia. Yep, my Rex begonias. They're both still growing down here in spag, but everything else, like philodendrons, yeah, every philodendron except for my brandy is in sphagnum moss. Yep, or yep, in sphagnum moss. Yep, except for I have a Prince of Orange. He's in the soil, but for the most part, you guys, the more rare, uncommon stuff is in this here sphagnum moss. But yeah, you guys, get you some sphagnum moss. It's just like soil, except for you have to add your nutrients and the things that your plant needs in order for it to grow. I definitely live by this stuff. Everything is in spag. I don't. Do I have anything up here? Yep. Everything is literally. You remember You definitely remember the video. You remember? Yeah. If you've been following literally everything, so I don't have to go into detail, but again, everything is in spag and I love it. And also, since I am a heavy waterer, it lets me water my plants a lot more. You know, you definitely can over water them, especially once the seasons change or maybe they're in a higher humidity environment. So you definitely have to watch that out. So yeah, if I do water them a lot, then I don't turn the humidifier on. But if I'm just sparingly, like with my Mister sprayer, which I usually do, I spray the moss and the pole and stuff every day with a water spray bottle, and of course I turn the humidifier on. But guys, Try it out. I'm telling you, it works. It works. It's work. I have no problems with it, none whatsoever. Even in the first, I have videos in the beginning, you guys. When I was switching over my collection to Sphagnum moss because I knew, I mean, exactly how good it works for me, and I'm telling you, it works. The only negative thing about Sphagnum moss is do not let it go dry. Do not, do not. I mean, with philodendrons, they're a little bit more forgiving, but some other plants, let me tell you, don't do it. Especially if they are, I would say, pest prone. If you haven't had any pest, just don't miss a watering. I know also well, just don't miss a watering. I've had plants in Sphagnum moss that had literally never had any pests, but missed one good watering, and it wasn't like, I went 6 weeks without watering. No, it was like maybe 2 or 3 days over from watering, so it was limped over. I water it, it got up. Next 2 days, infested with freaking pests. So I'm like, yeah, yeah. So you was doing fine, and that underwatering just it did it. It did it. But yeah, you guys, I would definitely recommend it if you haven't tried it. You can do any extra additives you want. Some of my plants, I have dirty spag, which is a cup of soil, potting soil, with my mulch and sphagnum and my fertilizer. You see what I'm saying? So you can do peat moss, or you can do what is that? Vermiculite, perlite, whatever you want to do as an extra additive, especially if it's going to drain or hold extra moisture if your plant needs it. But yeah, you guys, try it out again if you haven't. But that is it here for today's video. Please do me a favor, hit that like button if you enjoyed. Also, comment down below. Let me know if you have a philodendron family. Also, let me know, do you have any growing issues with these? I personally don't. The only thing I can say I could do better is give her more light, but that comes with the territory of bigger leaves, and then I either have to start cutting back or rearranging stuff. But right now, she's definitely in a good size. I have to figure out like a bigger grow tent or something, and then grow tent, I have to get bigger grow lights. That's a whole nother episode. But again, let me know down in the comment section, if you have one of these, or you probably are still looking for some of these. Now it'll be a while before I get to chopping proper, but let me know in the comment section below. Everything that I do use here on the channel will be down in the description box below, especially this here Orchid Moss. They're, again, I should be sponsored by now. How much this, I spend, and yeah, I talk about this is I'm the orchid guy, the Orchid Moss guy. Call me the swag guy. All right. So everything I use will be down in the description box below. And I think that is it. Yep. I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye. And cut. That's a wrap, guys. Good job, Pete. See you back here on set tomorrow.